Hello, I'm Long Yi Cheng, Vice President and Head of the Cell and Gene Therapy Service Line at Cencora. We're a team of dedicated experts who collaborate with biopharma companies on the complex journey from research and development to commercialization of advanced therapeutic medicinal products, or ATMPs. Our focus lies in crafting and executing comprehensive strategies encompassing distribution, logistics, patient support, market access, and regulatory affairs throughout this crucial process. Herbert, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Long Yi, and I'm Herbert Altmann. I'm Vice President of Market Access and Healthcare Consulting in Europe. I'm with this organization now a little bit more than 1 year, and before that I was more than 15 years with Novartis, also responsible as Market Access Head for Europe. In this context, I had also the opportunity to participate in 2 pilot projects with the Joint Action 3 procedure, and also was the representative in the FPA workgroup for HTA assessment. In Europe, we have a team of around 300 people, mainly in the countries which have direct interaction with our customers in the countries to ensure that they bring innovative medicines as fast as possible to patients. Yeah, the general objective of the EU HTAR, the EU HTA regulation, which will be implemented very soon in January 2025, is threefold. First of all, to reduce bureaucracy. Second, to speed up the entire process. And third, to bring innovative products in an equal manner to patients in Europe. Of course, Europe wants to become an interesting place to invest, of course, and launch innovative products, for example, compared to the US. And therefore, this existing system that we have today, so that a manufacturer after EMA approval has to go to 27 different member states with the HTA assessment, should be centralized in this process. So to do such a submission jointly and conduct this assessment process, the first out of 3 steps in this process, in one JCA, joint clinical assessment procedure, makes a lot of sense and helps the manufacturer to reduce bureaucracy.
ATMPs present a unique challenge for HTA processes due to their nature as products based on genes, tissues, or cells that are primarily utilized to treat rare diseases to date and are centrally approved by the EMA. Now, if you look at the HTA recommendations across different countries over the last few years on ATMPs, there is a lack of consensus on the value of ATMPs compared to the standard of care. This discrepancy is attributed to a couple of different things, but mainly around clinical trial design, such as the size of the trial population, diverse comparators, and limited long-term clinical data at the time of submission, resulting in incomplete evidence for evaluating their efficacy. The other thing is the high cost associated with ATMPs. That really complicates pricing and reimbursement decisions and raising a lot of concerns around the affordability of the healthcare system. It is crucial to address these uncertainties surrounding ATMPs to ensure access to innovative therapies that cater to high unmet medical needs, often serving as the last hope and resort for patients. So to mitigate assessment variances, the adoption of the new EU HTA regulation could play a vital role in harmonizing evaluation practices and reducing disparities that Herbert talked about earlier. Now, by fostering better understanding and alignment within HTA frameworks, we can really pave the way for more consistent evaluations of these advanced therapies.
Yeah, very good question. First of all, there is an EMA process which looks into safety and efficacy of a product in principle And after this regulatory approval, the HTA process makes an important next step to make a product evaluated regarding pricing, reimbursement, of course, and value versus other pharmaceuticals. And so far in Europe, you have to go as a manufacturer to 27 different countries after EMA approval, which is the centralized regulatory process, to submit an HTA dossier, which will be the basis for a typical assessment here. The HTA assessment is a next critical step for a manufacturer to get a product priced and reimbursed in the market and make it finally available for patients, of course. In the regulatory process, you have an assessment of safety and efficacy, and then the HTA bodies in the different member states have to assess how this product can fit into the local environment. From the affordability point, as Lung Yi said before, also pricing, reimbursement, what kind of patient population should be addressed, and also criteria like which kind of physicians can prescribe this product. And of course, this HTA assessments, if you go to 27 different countries, will have 27 different procedures. And with the same evidence package to go to 27 member states, of course, results then in a very different timeline, and also results from this assessment procedure. So a launch sequence from Germany, which is launching usually weeks after EMA approval, until other countries, which takes 1.5 until 2-3 years in some Central Eastern European countries, can be a widespread in timing. Now, what kind of criteria are important? First of all, a country is evaluating the value of a product versus standard of care. So there's a concrete comparator which is used to see what kind of value, this additional value, this product can have. At the same time, also safety criteria will be evaluated to make sure that this product is meeting the standards and the different requirements. And then this assessment report, this HTA assessment report, will be the basis for the following pricing and reimbursement discussions, as said before. So it's very important that the quality of the assessment is as high as possible, so that an accurate positioning of the product in the market is possible. After many years of evaluating with the member states, the European Commission has decided in 2022 to implement this regulation. And the start date for the first products, which are oncology products and ATMPs, is 12th of January 2025. So not far from here, only 9 months from here. And after that, in 2028, orphan drugs will be the next class which will be assessed and included into this new process. And then 2030, all products are supposed to be in the EU HTA regulation covered. So there is quite some opportunity to learn now also how this system works and how the processes works with all the healthcare system stakeholders, manufacturers, but also the different countries, and learn and improve the system as much as possible.
To ensure a smooth and effective JCA process, it is crucial to kickstart the internal market access planning at least 10 months prior to filing with the EMA. This timeline provides ample opportunity for thorough preparation, meeting JCA dossier requirements, and crafting a robust evidence package for submission. Critically, before designing the phase 3 clinical trials, it is essential to align the internal processes as well. By establishing coherence within the organization early on, companies can really streamline their approach to JCA and optimize the outcomes of their clinical trials. Prioritizing the development of cross-functional capacity and capabilities is also important. Building a team that encompasses diverse expertise and skills will not only enhance collaboration, but also bolster the overall preparedness for successful market access strategies. So really, by adhering to these key principles of initiating early market access planning, aligning internal processes proactively, and prioritizing cross-functional capacity building, companies can set themselves up for a more seamless and efficient JCA process while maximizing their chances of success in gaining market access. Herbert, anything to add?
No, I think you're absolutely right, Lung-Yi, that an early start and a cross-functional interaction is super important for being successful. So first of all, it's also the JSC, the Joint Scientific Consultation, which manufacturers can use nowadays or in the future to get advice from EMA and HTA bodies at the same time. Then, as a next step in the preparation, you have also the opportunity to do PICO simulation, so to find the right patient indication comparators and outcome parameters, which are all assessed then from the HTA bodies from the different countries. And in this collaboration, it's also important that the country organizations or country HTA bodies are consulted to make sure that they learn about ATMPs and the new products, because very often, especially in smaller countries, it's not so easy for the authorities to get familiar with this new technology, and therefore for the markets as well as for the HTA bodies, it's super important to start early, engage early, and do it as a cross-functional team.
ATMP developers have a great opportunity to leverage insights from pilot assessments such as Joint Action 3 to tailor their approach strategically, to enhance their evidence generation, and to navigate potential challenges effectively. By doing so, they can significantly increase their chances of successful regulatory approval, but also market access. Now, there's a couple of things. First, you want to analyze the outcomes of the pilot assessments. Developers can gain a deeper understanding of the specific requirements and expectations of regulatory bodies and HTA bodies concerning ATMPs. This knowledge is crucial for aligning development plans with the standards set by these authorities. Moreover, these assessments enable developers to proactively identify potential challenges or gaps in their evidence package early on. By addressing these issues during the development phase, companies can then strengthen their overall strategy and ensure a more robust submission for approval. Furthermore, leveraging insights from pilot assessments helps in optimizing evidence generation strategies to meet regulatory standards effectively. Developers can learn best practices for collaboration with partners, regulators, and HTA bodies based on the experiences shared during these assessments and really kind of enhance that cooperation and streamlining the processes. The last part is ATMP developers can refine their market access strategies by learning from the successes. Adapting proven methods based on pilot assessment allows companies to tailor their strategies for better outcomes in these reviews and market access decisions. So to just sum it up, by incorporating these key learnings into their development plans, ATMP developers can position themselves for success in navigating the complex landscape of regulatory approvals and market access for these innovative therapies.
You're absolutely right, Lung-Yi. I was able to participate in 2 of the pilot projects when the UNETA Consortium 21 was offering this opportunity to get familiar with the new process. And there were a lot of internal discussions how to best prepare for these products and for these assessments. But on the other side, there was also a lot of dialogue between the different countries assessing our products. And therefore, I can only agree that an early engagement makes a lot of sense to identify the gaps in the evidence package as they are perceived from the authority point of view. And in this context, the joint scientific consultation offering that we have now available in the new EU HTA regulation plays an important role. The manufacturer has the opportunity to engage with the EMA, the regulatory body, and at the same time with several HTA bodies. And for the first time, you get a consolidated feedback from regulatory and HTA bodies about the request, what kind of evidence is needed to get a product assessed and regulatory approved, and then of course afterwards qualifying for a pricing and reimbursement process in the country. At that stage, usually the manufacturer have not decided what kind of phase 2, phase 3 clinical trial design is in place and how to structure it fully, but has a clear expectation how this can look like. And therefore, it's good to resonate with the HTA bodies also at that stage already to make sure that the evidence package is not only ready for regulatory approval with EMA, which historically was the focus, but also meets the requirements of an HTA body in Europe.
Many ATMP developers, particularly emerging companies, often face challenges due to the lack of well-established local affiliates. By actively engaging with national HTA bodies, these developers can effectively navigate the intricate landscape of local reimbursement and access processes, ultimately enhancing their market penetration strategies.
That's right, Lung-Yi. And there is a big difference between smaller companies and the bigger pharma companies. The bigger pharma companies have a well-structured organization, and they can learn from the different products that they are launching over time. While these biotech companies or SMIDs, the smaller companies, which are engaging with 1 or 2 compounds over a period of 3-5 years, don't have the opportunity to learn.
National HTA bodies offer invaluable insights into specific regional requirements, preferences, and decision-making criteria that significantly influence market access strategies for ATMPs in individual countries. Understanding these nuances is essential to tailor evidence generation approaches and value propositions to align with each market's unique needs. Collaborating with national HTA bodies enables developers to customize their strategies based on local insights, thereby increasing the likelihood of successful HTA evaluations and favorable reimbursement decisions in diverse markets. This targeted approach enhances the relevance and the impact of their submissions. By familiarizing themselves with the expectations and procedures of national HTA bodies early on, ATMP developers can proactively anticipate and address challenges, paving this way for smoother market access pathways for their innovative therapies. This proactive stance minimizes obstacles during the evaluation process. Another important aspect is that engagement with national HTA bodies serves as a platform for fostering relationships and dialogue between developers and key stakeholders across different markets. These interactions facilitate constructive discussions on evidence requirements, health economics, and patient access issues, promoting mutual understanding and collaboration toward achieving shared goals.
I think you're absolutely right, Lung-Yi, also because we have quite some experience with early scientific advice in Germany. That always offers an opportunity for any kind of manufacturer to assess if the clinical trial design, the comparator selection, or the patient population are relevant also for the HTA system. But it has to be shown if this also works in this new environment, because there are many smaller countries which don't have this kind of experience yet. So, interesting situation to see how this develops.
You're exactly right. Through active engagement with national HTA bodies, ATMP developers can gain a competitive edge by tailoring their strategies to meet diverse market needs effectively while building meaningful partnerships within the healthcare ecosystem.
You're right, Lung-Yi. But let me add that it's also important to add the patient perspective, because it's not only important to evaluate if the new drug or the new technology has the right comparator, the right clinical trial design, but it has to also take into consideration the unmet medical need of patients, and that this new technology will reach patients as fast as possible in this collaborative approach between HTA body and manufacturers.
Yeah, I cannot agree more, Herbert, because for ATMPs, so many of them are targeting rare or ultra-rare conditions where there were no treatments before. So patient really is at the center of what these developers are trying to help, so that patient perspective cannot be forgotten during the whole process.
Absolutely, and especially as smaller countries may have only a few patients, not even a patient within a year, but only 2 or 3 within 5 years. So they have to get more familiar with the technology in an early phase to also prepare their environment, to prepare the healthcare system, and the budget is also important.
This is a question that's really top of mind for a lot of developers. The ATMP sector is on the cusp of this transformative era with new treatment paradigms entering the market and a wave of therapies targeting broader patient populations just on the horizon. If you look at the projections, as many as 6 ATMPs could secure regulatory approval in Europe in 2024, signaling a significant expansion in innovative therapies. Now, what new regulations hold promise for enhancing patient access to cutting-edge treatments, they also present notable challenges that demand our attention. There are concerns regarding the applicability of the current methodologies to address ATMPs effectively. Of particular concern is this requirement for randomized controlled trials, which may not always align with the unique characteristics of ATMPs. This insistence could potentially result in inconclusive JCA reports for numerous ATMPs, highlighting the need for tailored evaluation framework to accommodate these advanced therapies more effectively.
You're absolutely right, Lung Yi. But let me add that and remind ourselves that this is only the first step of the HTA assessment in the JCA. The next step is that the JCA report is delivered to all the 27 different countries, and then an additional assessment is happening there. So we have to make sure that there are not too much additional requirements, because that's an additional concern then for the manufacturer, and it will delay these new innovations to come to patients as fast as possible.
That's a really great point, because the JCA doesn't replace the local level decisions and review, right? So I think when you think about the resources and just the processes on both ends.
Yeah, I would only hope that over time there are not many additional requirements, especially for ATMPs and rare conditions, because already in the JCA process, every member state has an opportunity to contribute. So in this process, additional requirements should become very less.
Let's hope so. We need to acknowledge both the opportunities and challenges within this dynamic sector and work towards fostering an environment that supports innovation while ensuring robust evaluation processes that align with the distinct attributes of ATMPs.
Yeah, I think it's very important that manufacturers are proactive planning and doing a lot of collaboration with the HTA bodies on a local or on a European level. There is still a lot of uncertainty. The first draft of the Implementing Act has just been published, and it created some concerns with manufacturers how to best interact in this new healthcare system environment. So far, it's not obvious that manufacturers can participate in giving input to the entire process during the evaluation of their products. It's also not very clear how patient organizations and KOL can participate and launch their opinion about a certain technology, which is super important because in these ATMP and oncology conditions, it's important to have their very good input from the beginning. Therefore, I think it's important to partner, to leverage the different learnings from the industry associations which are available, for example, FPIA and UCOP, but also look into other partnerships to learn from these examples which went already through the process.
Yeah. So I think, Herbert, that's really well said. And I would be remiss not to mention the EU HTA Center of Excellence we just established as Cencor. As an industry leader, we really want to see new medicines being accessible to more patients in Europe. I think we have a really good track record of navigating companies throughout this very complex process from a national level and now with experience that we have with JAC and very soon JCA. We are very proud of what we can do for patients with our expertise, with our experience. I think, to your point, this is new for a lot of people. We're learning as everybody else is learning as well. But I think the focus, the dedication, and the attention that we'll provide to our clients, current and prospective, is going to be so critical to bringing more successes to the EU community when it comes to having these innovative medicines.
You're right, Lung-Yi. And I think in addition, we can even leverage all the experience that we have already how to do dossiers in Germany with the AMNOG procedure, for example. And Germany is one of the leading countries in shaping this EU HTA process in the future. We see this also with the first implementing act, that a lot of requirements how to do the dossiers are very similar to the AMNOG process. And we have done so many of these dossiers. But we have the same capabilities in Spain or in Italy or in other countries in Europe. So hopefully we can learn fast and therefore help our partners to bring their innovative medicines as fast as possible to patients.
I agree 100%. I think we have a really, really strong foundation based on what we've done, and we can only get better from here.